Hi everyone, in this video we'll walk you through step by step how to set up your magnet planner to get the most out of it. In case you didn't know, the magnet planner combines the best parts of different goal setting systems to one compact, easy to use planner. And today we'll start from yearly goal setting to quarterly or monthly tip-ins and then to your monthly trackers. Let's start with the yearly goals. And just so you know, whichever layout you're in, you will still get the same yearly and monthly setup. So after the yearly overview page, you will get to your yearly goal setting page. And just so you know, this is a sample planner, so you won't be getting any of these numbers on the actual planner. We've replaced them with a small, clear goal text in front of each one. There are a few things I recommend for you to keep in mind. Number one, you do not need to fill out every single line. Some people have one goal, others may have 10. What matters most isn't how many goals you set, but how many goals you stick with. And number two, just write them down. You'll probably have to scratch out your first couple of goals, and that's totally okay. That's why there are so many extra lines on this page. It's completely fine if this page gets messy. Clarity comes from the process of writing things down. And number three, tie your goal to an identity. That means using I am instead of I want. When you say I am someone who, it gives you a sense of ownership and helps you step into that version of yourself. And more importantly, when you imagine yourself in that identity, you'll know whether it truly fits. One time I wrote, I want to gain more followers on Instagram. And it seems like a really good goal. But when I tried to write the goal with I wrote, I am someone who shares creative, helpful content consistently. And that instantly shifts the focus from chasing a number to becoming a person who shows up with value. And that changed my goal completely. And number four, your goals do not need to be big. In fact, you want to make them as detailed as possible that fits your lifestyle. The more clearly you describe the identity, the easier it will be when we break that big goal into bite-sized doable steps. So let's see some examples of my own goals. So number one, instead of saying I want to own my first apartment, which I originally wrote, I changed that to I'm someone who's on top of my finances. And I'm trying to save a down payment for my first apartment. And then I have this health and muscle related goal. So initially I wrote down, I want to lose fat and gain muscle. And instead of saying that, I changed it to, I am a healthy and fit person who feels confident and strong in every outfit. Don't forget, your goals don't have to be perfect, and they likely won't be. You can tweak them or add new ones anytime you want in the year. So once you're done with your yearly goals, let's talk about quarterly planning and monthly planning. Technically, you can use either system, but if you look at the quarterly goals tip-in, you'll notice that the monthly goals tip-in is really just a zoomed in version of the first month of the quarterly goals tip-in. You can probably see that better on a planned tip-in. Let me show you guys. So here you have both your quarterly goals tip-in and the monthly goals tip-in. And obviously the quarterly goals runs on a 3-month duration. So you have your month 1, 2, 3 listed this way. And for the monthly goals tip-in, it only captures one entire month. So on the quarterly goals, you'll have all of your goals listed here in this Q1 goal section. And when you break each goal into action steps, you would list your action steps for all of your goals here in month 1, 2, and 3 accordingly. So the monthly goals is exactly the zoom in version of this first month over here. The only difference is that you'll have your goals listed as a title for each section, and you'll have your action steps listed right underneath them. Let's talk about the difference between the quarterly goals tip-in and the monthly goals tip-in, or you can call it the difference between quarterly planning and monthly planning. For quarterly planning, it's better for long progressive goals, for example, room renovation. And let's take a look at this kids' room reno project that I have in my goal section. So for this goal, you'll have to go through a couple of steps to complete it, and each step is different. For example, you'll have to start with clearing out the room and cover up the walls. And then for the next month, maybe you have to paint the walls, you have to clean up the room. And then for the month after, you'll have to finish it up with installing new shelves, and put it in the decors. If most of your goals are like this, go with the quarterly goals tip-in. It gives you enough space to map out the full journey over the 3-month time. And with our tip-in design, you can start your quarter in whichever month you want. So for example, here I circled 6, 7, 8, which means June, July, and August. And that means this is when my quarterly plan started. And again, you can attach your tip-in to any page in your planner, giving you the flexibility to start wherever you want. Then let's take a look at your monthly goals tip-in. Monthly planning is really great for repetitive goals. Let's take a look at my first goal over here. So I wanted a healthy body, which is my fitness goal. And here I wrote fitness 3 times a week. This action doesn't really change over time. What matters most is showing up regularly. And so is my next action step for having healthy dinner every day and eat up to 70% full. And my third action step, sleep before 11 p.m. If most of your goals are like this fitness goal that repeats regularly, and let's say you are in a quarterly planning system, it's still fine. Your action step will just look a little bit repetitive. So as you can see, I have my healthy body goal over here, and I break them down to the same action steps: fitness 3 times a week, healthy dinner, and sleep before 11 p.m. And these action steps will just repeat over the 3 months. It's totally fine, but it'll just look a little repetitive. In this case, if most of your goals are repetitive goals, we recommend using the monthly planning system. It gives you more flexibility to refresh or adjust your action steps month by month. And that said, it's very common to have a mix of both goal types. Whether you choose the quarterly or the monthly really comes down to what fits your planning style better. As mentioned earlier, the tip-in sticks to any page in your planner and flips open for quick goal check-ins. We recommend placing it on your monthly tracker, but feel free to stick it on your monthly calendar or on your monthly grid pages, whatever fits your flow. Now let's talk a little bit more about breaking your big goal into action steps. This is honestly one of the most satisfying parts of the entire setup. What we're doing here is taking that big yearly goal you crafted and slicing it into bite-sized doable action steps. It is really, really important to have a clear metric for every single one of your action steps. So for example, in my fitness goal, I've broken it down to 3 action steps. The first one is going to a fitness class 3 times a week. So here, 3 times a week is a clear metric. Having a clear metric is super important when we embed these action steps into our monthly trackers later on. And for progressive goals, make sure you add a deadline or time frame to each step. Let's go back to the kids' room reno goal. So here I have clear out the room by June 10th and cover up the walls by June 30th. And I added in a deadline for each of the action steps. Let's take a look at a few other goals on my tip-in. For my goal number 3, I have travel, and this is a progressive goal. So I'll have a different action step for each month. So here on the first month, I have book hotel and flight. And then in my second month, I have to make my travel itinerary. And in the third month, I have the actual travel and also to make a photo book when I come back home. Now the fun part begins. We're going to copy all of these thoughtfully broken down action steps into your monthly trackers. And if you have the monthly tip-in, that means you're going to copy all of your action steps into your monthly tracker. Once you've transferred all of your action steps to your monthly tracker, you're pretty much done for your setup. And keep in mind, if you have a quarterly goals tip-in, you do not have to do it repetitively every month. You just keep your quarterly goals tip-in flipped out when you're on your February monthly tracker and your March February tracker, and so on. You can also tuck in the tip-in behind your monthly tracker when you are tracking for the month, just so it's not in the way. When I'm tracking in my monthly tracker, there's so many ways I do my tracking. So here I'm using my highlighter dots, and I also like to use solid or empty circles. So here I draw in a solid circle for tasks that I fully completed, and a half empty circle for tasks I'm half completed, or just an empty circle for things that I just didn't get time to do. And this section over here is more like a reflection space. So in the beginning of the month, I would add up the number that I plan to complete each task. For example, my first action is fitness 3 times a week, and I have 5 weeks in this month, so I would time 3 by 5, and I have 15 times that I wanted to complete this goal for this month, and I would write the number 15 under the goal column. And for progressive goals, for example, here I have my book, hotel, and flight. I wanted to complete that kind of mid-month, so I just draw 2 dots here saying that, oh, it's time to do these, and once that's done, I will just give it a check mark. And then I have my room rental goal. So here I just use my highlighter to highlight the time frame that I plan to finish this task. And once I'm done with clearing out the room, I wanted to move on to my next step, which is to cover up the walls. And by the end of the month, I would add up the numbers that I've completed each task and put that under the actual column. And this way I can get a percentage of how well I did for the month. If I'm under 50%, I pause and think about why it was so hard to keep up. I'll usually write that under my tracker as my fails, just a quick note to help me adjust next time. Sometimes when I can't keep up with a habit, it's not because I'm not trying, it's because the action step wasn't set up properly. One time I wrote eat healthy lunch as a daily action, but I kept missing it. Then I realized the real issue. I wasn't prepping the lunch ahead of time. Eating wasn't the hard part, but prepping was. So the next month, I adjusted my action step to prep healthy lunch. By moving the focus earlier in the day, everything clicked, and I actually stuck with it. On the flip side, if I hit 85% or more, it's a huge win. I'll take a moment to figure out what helped. Maybe it was a routine, a friend, or a mindset shift, and I write that down as my key takeaways for next month. In conclusion, once your magnet planner is all set up, the rest is simple. You just follow the system. You don't need to stress about your big goals all the time. Just 10 minutes a day with your planner and you'll know you're on track. Even if you fall off for a bit, the magnet is always there to pull you back on track. By the end of each month, you'll see real progress, and by that point, no one is taking your planner away from you. Magnet has helped me stay on top of my life and to start every single day with more clarity and confidence. It's genuinely such a good feeling, and I really hope that I'll do the same for you too.